Yo guys, it is Simmons back with another video. Today we're gonna be going through the top 5 best formations for you to use in rematch. Been getting a lot of comments about this, and I found it very helpful in organizing my team for fives, just to get a bit more clarity with the team on where they should be positionally. Now, one thing before we get into this, you should know that positions in rematch are never fixed, okay? No matter where you are on the field, it's fluid, okay? You're going to be rotating, you're going to be swapping positions as you play the game, but these formations are the structure for which you attack and defend. And it's just knowing where you are in relation to your teammates. So we're going to get into the first one here. This is probably the most common one I've been seeing in fives, and it's the diamond, okay? So we're the green team here. We're agreeing with it. Off kickoff, I'm pretty sure this is how every team is set up. So we got, the flat four or whatever on the defensive side, and we got our default kickoff stance here. So the diamond, pretty much, it's a diamond. Surprise, surprise. We're going to create that diamond with the team. The two wide players are going to be in between the striker and the defender here. Now, what this really does for the team, it's just well balanced. It has the good width. The two wing players can get up and down very easily. It provides that width on the field, which is very important, and also allows the defender here to just creep up on that in that space there. So something that I'm seeing a lot with this formation, guys. A lot of people can get suckered forward, okay, into the attack. Everyone likes to go forward in this game. And the defender can get left on his own, okay? But then, if this defender can play either a good pass, or if he can beat his man, let's say he beats his man there, we got a 4-on-3 going, okay? And, if we weren't in this diamond formation and players were, bunched up like that, it's just so easy for these red defenders to just defend that team. When you have the diamond formation, okay, you allow your players to work more in the space, right? So, as a scenario here, say the defender here gets the ball, beats his man, he can just go forward with the ball here, The wingers can, push up. The three might push up here and the five's going to follow. This guy might push up. If anything, if he sees the defender in the middle here going, he should drop back. It's all about rotating, And then the two, he might work it in here. He might go in there. He might get the ball in the space here. He might take a shot. Keeper saves it. Then what? Then how do you react to this situation? Well, the 5 becomes the defender now. The 4 can stay at the top. 3 drops back in. And the 2, the former defender, goes out wide. And you fall back to that formation. Okay? So that's more midfield and attack. Now in defense, in the diamond formation, you don't want to defend in a diamond. Okay? What you want to be doing, say they've got the ball here. You have your striker up on the defender here. For instance, let's just say this other team's also playing a diamond. What I suggest doing is you fall back into a 3-and-1 formation, 3-and-1 in defense, okay? If they play it out wide here, the 2 can run up, go get him, and the defense shifts across accordingly. Because you get into these scenarios, right, guys? say they hoof a long one in the corner and your player gets there. If these two wide players are in the diamond in defense, there's just so much space left open here for the other team to exploit. So, and like, look how far away this guy is from the ball. So if you stay in that flat back three, it helps defend, adds a bit more structure, helps defend on the crosses a bit more. You know, they might hit it off the backboard. You've got three guys in the middle to try and deal with it, hopefully get it out to the striker. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the diamond formation. That's all you need to know. Now, the next one we're going to be going with, not my preferred formation. Okay, we'll reset this. Get these guys back there. This is the square. So the square is 2 up top, 2 in defense. Now, this is definitely more attacking. My only problem with it is you don't get the width here. So in the square formation, you're very narrow, okay? Very narrow. So you don't get to exploit the width in the 5v5 formation, you know? And a habit that people can fall into here, these strikers might think they're strikers. They're not just strikers. They got to get back on defense. You can't just leave 2 at the back, okay? So the benefit going forward, you're going to have 2 dedicated attacking players with the other 2 in support. But personally, I don't like it because we give up the width here. Give up all that width on the wide there. And like, look how narrow this diamond defense can be. This formation really only works if you have some talented players who can pass a ball and who can communicate effectively, okay? Because you're going to have to be super accurate with these passes in order to, you know, get through these gaps here. Where are my shapes? Yeah, look at that. There we go. Look at that. We got the square. Now, the main benefit I see from the square personally, you can get this guy involved, all right? The keeper. So the keeper can sort of come up and be more of a sweeper keeper. He can start with the ball. Hopefully the 4 is, you know, splitting these 2. And then all it takes is one pass from the keeper to the left or right, right or left, and you have all this space here to exploit. But it's really dependent on having a good, confident keeper who's not going to make a mistake and play around with it at the back. I've seen too many keepers try rainbow flick their man and get embarrassed. You can't be risking that with this formation. The square, you know, you can get a little bit wider with these 2 as well when the keeper comes up and you have all that space to work with. Then the 2 up top to go to work. But the square's not quite my tempo. I'm not a square man. But this next one, I'm a bit more of a fan of. We'll get them all set up here. This next one's the diamond. So we're going to have 1 up top in the, not the diamond, this is the pyramid. Sorry guys, this is the pyramid. And look at that formation. You get 2 at the back here, and then a nice shaft in the middle there, midfielder, attacker. It offers a lot of variability. It's a lot more solid at the back compared to the diamond because you have 2 dedicated defenders. And it also allows your midfield maestro to really shine. It also, you know, in defense, it allows you to fall back into that flat back 3, you know, to really defend effectively against these guys, right? And all it takes is that midfielder to step out, win the ball, and you're off. So where the pyramid really shines is that structure in the midfield. You have a lot of central control. Again, you're lacking on the width here, which I personally don't like too much. Potentially these wide players can get a bit wider here, just to offer a bit more width, hopefully drag some guys out. But we'll reset it here. Again, you can use your goalie as another piece to the pyramid, but I think for this formation it just works better if you're really dependent on your midfielder here. So you want probably your best passing player, your most skillful dribbler, to be in here to really work for the rest of the team. The pros and cons of this one, you've obviously got that dedicated striker. You've got the defensive balance there, but you're really lacking the width. You're very dependent on your midfielder, so if your midfielder's getting shut down a lot, you could be in trouble. But I definitely prefer this over the square, just because you're not lumping two players up into striker. You've got a bit more midfield balance, which is very important. And then one of the last ones we got here, we got the inverted pyramid. You got to invert the pyramid sometimes, man. Two strikers, a midfielder, and a defender. This is a risk-taking formation, man. This is for the risk takers. The positives of this, you have two strikers that can really press the defense. Hopefully the midfielder can mop up any long balls that come through after the two strikers press. And then you have your last defender sort of sweeping and cleaning up anything else long. It can be a bit reliant on having a good defender here. So pretty much any formation that has one defender, you're super reliant on that guy to really pull through. And as you go side to side, you sort of get this weird width formation. He might come in here, he might go in there, and you've got that inverted pyramid up top. And he might play this guy, play that guy, and you've got that midfielder option. Again, this one is super reliant on having a good midfielder that can keep the play going, keep the tempo going, play that boozy role to really keep the ball ticking. So that's the inverted pyramid. Personally, I don't like the width on this formation. So we're gonna go to our last formation now, guys. And this is my favorite. This is my go-to in any team I play in. So we're gonna go one striker, two wingers, but we're gonna do something a little crazy. The keeper is gonna be that fifth option. So what's gonna be happening here? These two are going to be sort of interchanging on defense. I haven't thought of a formation name for this yet, but I'd say it's a 2-3. Two in the back, three up top. Let's just set these guys up properly here. So off kickoff, obviously this guy's going to play it back. The 4 is going to press the 3. He can just lay it off to his man here, all right? And he can just take that space. He can just take that space here, okay? And, as he gets over here, the 4 is going to come. The 3 needs to drop back and cover the goal a little because, a lot can go wrong. You're taking risk at the back, which is always trouble. But if you have a confident team, you can make it work. As the goalie pushes out into this space, he can either play the winger or put it back into the 3. Now look at that. Now, our defender has all this space to work with. He can push up now. He can push in there. The 4 might, be chasing him, but it's going to be tough for that 4 to get up and, chase him. He's used all that stamina initially. He's used more stamina trying to get the goalie. And then now the 3's breaking away. And the goalie will sort of return to the edge here. Now, Everyone might, sort of shift across a little. He can play it out wide here. It just opens up so many options having this extra player be more involved in the build-up, and I think that's something huge. But this formation is reliant on passing backwards, maintaining control, which a lot of you won't be able to do with randoms. Even with people they might not pass back because they only have one eye and it's an eye for goal. Okay? Let's go to work. A big benefit, of course, this is like a diamond, I guess, but you're just using that goalie as more of an anchor player, and you're interchanging between center back and goalie, just shifting side to side. Obviously, you get the benefit of the width, which I love. A pass I love doing with the team. Say the three's got the ball really deep here. Okay. If this keeper wants to be a bit of a risk taker, the winger needs to push inside here. Right? You ready? I've done the arrow the wrong way. Forgive me. This defender can ping an absolute ball for the goalie to run through and get to, okay? And look, it's a risky play. It uses a lot of stamina, but if he can ping that across to the goalie, we've got a clear goal-scoring opportunity right here. He can either go to goal, he can either try flick it up for one of his teammates to volley it in. There's so much happening. And, after that defender plays the ball, he just comes in and takes the goalie spot. And then these two, they'll push up. And then the 4, he comes in, he slots in, and you get that back 2 again. It's all about knowing where you are in relation to your teammates. Pretty much any formation you're playing, you're never just sticking to the one position. You're never just goalie. You're never just striker. You're always changing, chopping, changing position, rotating. I've talked about rotating in the past before, but I might have to refresh that one. So yeah, probably to conclude this video, guys, my favorite formation is this 2-3 that we got, with the goalie becoming more of a presence in the play. It just gives the team an extra man in the build-up phase, another option for passes, and just opens up the field so much, as I've explained. My second favorite formation is the diamond. It's the most simple. It's the formation you literally start kickoff in. And then we've got the inverted pyramid, which I like. The inverted pyramid, and then the regular pyramid, which I like a little less. And then I'd put in last place the square, just because it offers no midfield coverage, it offers no width, it offers nothing, in my opinion. But let me know what you think, guys. Hopefully this gives you a little insight into my thoughts behind Rematch, some of my preferred formations to play with my bros. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what your favorite formation is. I want to hear it. All right. Hope you learned a little something today, guys. This is Simmons signing off with another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ding that little bell. Peace.